Hi everybody, I'm David. Welcome to my channel, My Yard Sale. Hey, I know it's been a while since I've posted, and I wanted to post this update with some of the things that's been going on in my life because I've had some things that have maybe positively started to affect me, but definitely I've had some negative problems that has been like so difficult. I have had really difficult times actually posting. So first off, I'll tell you, I live in New York. And today it's sunny and I can actually see, in my house where it's not like dark with just my lights on. There's actually sunshine outside right now, which it looks sunny, it looks nice, but it's still bitter cold. It's been so cold where I live. I got to be honest. Like, there's been a lot of times that, like, I get out of bed to go and eat or go to the bathroom, but I spend a majority of my day in bed looking at YouTube videos and watching, movies or whatever, just because it's warm in bed. I have a I have a electric blanket that I use that kind of keeps me warm. And yeah, a long time ago, many months ago, maybe I was talking about people that I couldn't understand how they could turn their electric blankets up to 8 and not be sweating to death. Well, I get it now because I have turned my electric blanket up. Maybe not that high, but pretty high just to warm up. It's been so difficult. It's been cold. It's been, in some cases, 20 below zero where I live. Maybe that's with wind chill. Maybe it's, I don't know, 5 below zero, 6 below zero without wind chill, just regular, just cold. But in some cases, it's 25 below zero with the wind chill. And that sucks. That's horrible. And then on top of that, I said all that nice stuff about that company that helped me get my furnace replaced and get my heat back on. Well, yeah, so that company sucks. Their white glove service basically is as long as you have credit and you have money, you're going to get help. If you run short on money or you don't have enough money, they aren't going to give anything back to help. So if you spent $20,000 with them to replace a bunch of stuff, guess what? That gives you no priority for anything from that company. You're on your own. So now I'm trying to figure out, now my heat's not working right. I'm trying to figure out who can help me at the most cost efficient way because my house is barely heated and it's still winter where I live. It's well, it's 5 degrees out right now. I'm hoping that it's going to hit 30 degrees this week, I hope, and maybe be a little bit above freezing. But yeah, that company that I was saying all that nice stuff about, they're garbage. They're horrible. Quite frankly, they're all about the dollar. And these companies that are all about the dollar are not customer service and just the customer helping the customer. These companies suck. And that company that I talked all that nice stuff about, they're one of those companies that they talk all great stuff and they can finance you and they can say all this nice stuff and they have good technical support. But when it gets to the time where they actually maybe need to give a little bit back, they aren't giving anything back. It's all about what you're going to give them. And I'm never going to do business with companies like this again. I'm going to try to figure out who those companies are and part ways with them. But yeah, it's been freezing cold, which has been lowering my mojo completely. I've been thinking more about moving back to Florida again. And I'm sure that once summertime gets around here and other people are putting in air conditioners into their windows, I won't need air conditioning, I think, ever again. I'll just be happy when it's sweltering hot, I think. My Florida blood is definitely not doing well at 25 below zero. And getting some sunshine back, I'm going to be pretty happy about that. So I had some food delivered last week, and the poor guy, like, he's probably my age. He's actually delivered a couple times here, and we got a foot of snow, and this guy was a trooper. Like he could have just called my delivery off because it was hard figuring out where exactly my driveway was. It was hard finding his way, even though he's walked up my walkway several times before. There was a foot of snow, and it was hard for him to get to my front door. And I needed the food. I was running out of food. So I'm extremely thankful that this guy, working for Walmart, actually stuck with it and trudged up my walkway through the snow, through a foot of snow, and delivered my food. I'm so thankful for that. I mean, I think I might have been able to scrounge enough food together to try to eat, but I was running out of food pretty big time. So I'm so thankful that they delivered, even though they had canceled my first order, and then they delivered my second order. I'll be happy when the rest of the snow is melted off my front walk and I can order food again without worrying about whether they're going to be able to figure out exactly where my front door is. So yeah, this whole food delivery thing in the snow, boy, it makes a lot of sense to have food scheduled and figured out way before these big snowstorms, because you may not get food for 2 weeks. It's possible, which really sucks. So my health and my body is like changing so much. Again, I should say, it feels like I have strength. Like I can feel muscle growing in my arms and my legs. I can feel the muscle, but the coordination of my actual muscle and my hands and my arms, the coordination is like, I don't know if like stretching and exercising will start building that coordination again, but I lack the coordination so bad that I still have to walk, like hold on everywhere I walk, because like the coordination is not guaranteed that I'm going to step forward when I'm thinking I'm going to be stepping forward, and and like I have this I have this snapping thing throughout my body again still, where like if I'm walking, my ankle can snap or my knee could snap, and it doesn't make me immediately fall down, but it definitely makes it so that if I'm not holding on, I could fall down. And I've fallen down enough times now that I think I've learned my lesson to hold on and not fall down, because that's like I've had a couple of fall downs where it's been not completely serious, but serious enough that my Apple Watch has tried to call 911 for me, which I've not had it do. But yeah, I'm going through this weird thing with my body physically, and I'm eating mostly good. I'm eating a little bit of sugar. I'm eating a little bit of carbs, but I've mostly been eating a lot of tuna, like tuna pouches, and I ate some kiwis, which I gotta be honest, I was gonna buy apples, but I didn't really want to have to throw away all the cores and all the seeds and all that. I just wanted to eat the whole thing, so I bought some kiwis, and I love the kiwis. And I don't know whether the kiwis helped me or didn't help me. I don't really know, but I bought a bunch of kiwis, and I've been eating those tuna pouches, and I ate bologna for a while. I was really enjoying the bologna. And then I had some ham, and I ate some ham for a bit. So I've been eating some luncheon meats as well. But I've been trying to eat lower carbs, lower sugars. I say that, and then right behind that, I was eating some, like, I did eat some Pop Tarty kind of things. But I'm much better at not eating two of those or three of those in a day, and eating them like after I eat some protein in the morning, later on in the afternoon, I would eat a sweet treat. And I can't exactly tell if that's just my body. I think one of you guys maybe have mentioned that's just my body, like not getting what it needs because it's sugar. I'm too much sugar based, which is definitely possible. Now, one of the things that I had happen that I thought was both crazy and interesting that I want to share. So I obviously have insulin resistance. If you watch my channel for a while, I've mentioned this many times. I have insulin resistance, and I am starting to get my insulin sensitivity back. I can feel that. I know that I'm starting to gain muscle again, which means that my insulin sensitivity is starting to get a little bit better. But well, I was eating those Pop Tarts, um, toaster pastries, I should say. I was eating some sugar, and I started realizing that I was having a problem. So I stopped eating the sugar, and I had bought these drink mixes from um, from Walmart that are sugar free, but what they have is aspartame. And then I had also bought some some protein powder, some protein mix, which by the way was delicious. It was vanilla flavored, and I loved it. But it was sucralose based, and I started having like, so I had backed off of the sugars, I'd backed off a lot of the carbs. I was eating mostly just luncheon meats and kiwis, kiwi every couple of days, which I know that a kiwi has enough carbs that it could cause a problem, but there's enough fiber in a kiwi that it shouldn't be causing a problem. But I was eating these drink mixes and this sucralose sweetened um, protein powder, and I had the worst inflammation. I'm just going to call it chronic inflammation. Um, I thought it was glycation that I was experiencing all along the way here, but I think it wasn't glycation. It was actually chronic inflammation. But so I was drinking this drink mix with aspartame and this protein shake with sucralose pretty regularly, I'm just going to say. And I wouldn't say that I was overusing it, although I am pretty addicted to sugar and sweetener. And if I maybe mixed my drink mix a little heavy, it's possible. And actually having, I was having the protein shakes at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And and yeah, there was a lot of protein, which I think that can spike my insulin. But the sucralose and the aspartame, I didn't know this, but those two sweeteners can cause your body to spike pretty heavily in insulin because it makes your body think that there's sugar coming, there's no sugar coming. So it spikes all this insulin, and I don't know exactly how it works, but your body will spike insulin to combat the sugar that it thinks is coming, and then there's no sugar that comes. So I don't know, it tricks your body out and makes your body do weird stuff, which I feel like my body, definitely I had some issues. I had some problems. And I've taken all of the aspartame out of my diet and most of the sucralose besides the little bit of protein powder that I have left. I'm not eating any more sucralose, and I'm trying to just stick to my tuna pouches. I'm done with my kiwis, so I'm having some tuna pouches. I mean, I have a little bit of food here and there, and I need to order more, but I did order some bologna, and I was eating quite a bit of bologna and ham, which that actually went pretty good. But that whole thing with the the non-dietary sweeteners. That like really wrecked my system, and I'm just now starting to get over it. I talked about eating a whole bunch of hot dogs, which I did eat a whole bunch of hot dogs in like November, around November time frame, and I thought that had like negatively impacted my health, which is possible because we all know that hot dogs are not the most um, nutritious food. But I think my problem with the hot dogs maybe was it says right on hot dogs that they're fully cooked. But everything that I read about hot dogs is, even though they're fully cooked, you should not eat them raw. You should bring them up to, 135 degrees, which I didn't really know that. I didn't really think that. I was eating hot dogs, both microwaved, and I was eating hot dogs raw. I would just take a hot dog with a tortilla and a slice of cheese, slice of American cheese. I'd wrap it up and eat it and not think twice about it. But I think that eating those hot dogs, not nuked or not cooked, may have been what was causing me with problems with the hot dogs. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm hoping I'm getting to the tail end of this whole cycle of health issues, which I know was spiked because of that thing with the aspartame. Like I was having real health issues when I was just, I mean, I wasn't drinking like too much aspartame, but I was drinking one or two of those, um, these really nice tasting strawberry drink mixes from Walmart a day. I was enjoying it. And in some cases, I was even mixing it with the vanilla protein powder that I had, which was also delicious. And then at one point, I stopped eating the vanilla protein powder, and I was basically just mixing powdered milk. And I would mix a little bit of that strawberry drink mix that again was aspartame. And I don't know how much aspartame is in those things, but it's enough that it was like if you put too much of that drink mix in your drink, it was almost too sweet. Not for me, because I love sweetener. But I could imagine that most people would be like, oh my God, this is too sweet. And even now, if I were to mix it that way, I think it would be too sweet for me even now. But yeah, I had all these like health issues. And then on top of that, it went from like, I don't know, 30 degrees to negative 12 degrees. And the sun basically went away for a month. And I've spent the better part of maybe the last month just laying in bed and watching YouTube videos and watching movies. Somehow my phone seems to think that I would need to watch vampire movies, which when I was a kid, I lived in Colorado, and I lived in this house where my bedroom, it was this house where you walk in the front and you go either upstairs to the upstairs bedrooms, or you go on the on the on that floor. There's a kitchen, and I can't remember what else was on that floor, but there was a kitchen and maybe a little family room, a little living room area. But then there was a downstairs, which is where my bedroom was, and we had a crawl space under that middle floor, and that crawl space was all moldy smelling. And I don't know if you guys have crawl spaces, but I have a basement where I live, and it's pretty moldy and bad smelling. But crawl spaces, they're kind of scary. I watched this. I watched Salem's Lot when I was a kid, and I was terrified of that crawl space. I don't know if you guys have watched Salem's Lot, but it's about vampires and all kinds of like vampire-y scary shit. And I've always been like not too happy with vampire stuff ever since then, because I watched that movie, which scared the piss out of me, and then I had that crawl space in my house that my bedroom was on the same floor. And I hated it. It was terrifying. And now all of a sudden, my phone seems to think that I need to check out all the latest vampire movies, which I don't need to watch. I don't need to watch any of it. I don't need to watch any vampire shit. And then on top of that, I'm guessing that it's probably everybody in the United States. I get so much email and phone spam that it takes me like a couple of minutes out of the day just to delete all the crap and to block it. It's like you would think that Google or whatever phone service, Verizon, that they would be able to get rid of some of the spam, but I just end up having so much frigging spam that I spend a portion of my day deleting spam. I hate it. And then I'm trying to not get teed up on my phone with vampire movies, which I don't want to watch. I gotta find other stuff with that. So I was happy that that guy delivered my food. I was very happy about that. I had talked on this channel before about these itchy spots that I was getting on my body, like on my hands and on my arms. And I thought that it was the nerves maybe like reconnecting in those spots. I had read that that does happen. But I think that the itchy spots that I was having was just when I was having all this inflammation, and my skin got dried out, and I think that the itchy spots was just inflammation from my skin drying out, because I get inflammation from stuff that I've eaten or drank, mostly the aspartame stuff, and I go to the bathroom, I don't know, 15 times in the day, and then within a couple of days, my skin starts to dry up, and I try to drink enough water to flush it all out, but that's difficult when you're mixing these drink mixes with your water, and it just made things worse. So yeah, I think that the itchy parts on my skin were from dehydration, and that was when I was passing all those sugars and all that stuff. I don't want to call aspartame or sucralose sugar the sugar substitutes, but your body can actually just treat that like sugar, and that's what my body was doing. So I've been eating a lot of these Star-Kissed tuna packets. What do they call them? They're called Smart Bowls. And I friggin' love these things. They're delicious. And I know that I mentioned tuna before. And some of you guys talked about tuna. And you eat a lot of different kinds of tuna. And I'm wondering if you guys worry about the mercury in tuna. Like, I don't want to have to worry about it. I want to be able to eat these Smart Bowls and not worry about it. But my body is like so, like, I want to say fragile, but I don't want to say fragile. My body is like doesn't work great, and I'm just wondering if mercury is going to be an issue for me. And I'd read if you eat light tuna or different kinds of tuna, it doesn't really have as much of an effect. So I'm trying to figure out whether eating these Star-Kissed Smart Bowls makes sense, or if this is just another issue looking to happen. I have no idea how much I weigh because my stupid smart scale stopped working right. I got all this stuff that I spent money to like try to make my life a little bit better, and these things aren't working right. My heat and my smart scale. Like, I know that I'm not losing a lot of weight, but I'm not sure that I'm gaining a whole lot of weight. I know that I'm gaining muscle. I can feel the muscle. But I'll be happy when I get my smart scale working again, or I try to figure out what's wrong with it. I can't quite figure it out. And my fingers are like so messed up that um, that I can't really mess around with the batteries. I can't really get the little cover off the battery pack, off the battery area to try to replace the batteries. As soon as it started getting a little bit warm again, and even though there's still a good 6 inches of snow in my yard, but I had the worst problem with mice. The mice started coming in. I bought these and I don't have one right here to show you, but I bought these mouse traps that, like, I had problems with mouse traps before because my fingers don't work right, and I end up snapping my fingers in the mouse trap like 9 out of 10 times. So I bought these mouse traps that you like can squeeze the end on one end of it, and it opens the thing and it sets the trap, and then you can set it down and it doesn't like snap right up. And I was worried that they weren't going to be sensitive enough to catch the mice, but either the mice were big enough that it wasn't a problem, or this trap was just trapping the mice. It was trapping the mice. I trapped probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 mice in my bathroom and in my kitchen. And that was like every day I was catching a couple mice. There was quite a few of them. So I had this problem with mice. I finally got the mice thing mostly squared away. And now that it's sunny, all of a sudden I'm having this problem with honeybees. They like are coming in like some little spot in my what do you call it? In my wall, and they're somehow finding their way into my house, and actually, and unfortunately, into my room. And all of a sudden, I'll have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 honeybees flying around in my room throughout the day, and I'll end up having to spray them down and nuke them. I don't want to have to poison a whole bunch of honeybees, but I can't have honeybees flying all over my room. So that kind of sucks. I went straight from having mice to dealing with honeybees, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be an issue this summer. We'll see what happens. So there's been quite a bunch of stuff that has been going on in my life that's been mostly difficult and hard to deal with. But I'm getting through it. I'm still alive. Hopefully things will start getting a little bit easier as it's not 0 degrees anymore. I think we're supposed to get a little bit above freezing in the next couple of days for me, and that'll be nice. It'll be nice to have the heat maybe finally kick off a little bit. The little bit of heat that I have left, it'll be nice that it's not using it. One thing that definitely has changed for the better for me, I think any of you guys that have followed me for quite some time, I used to have this battery in the basement that was attached to this house alarm that was, I don't know, it was chirping every 42 seconds. And for the last 4 or 5 years, every 42 seconds of my life, this alarm was chirping. And I've been talking for quite a bit of time on this right now, and you haven't heard that chirping at all because that battery finally died, and hopefully it's just done. Probably as soon as I finish this post, it'll probably start chirping again. But yeah, I'm pretty happy that thing stopped chirping constantly. That was literally every 42 seconds, every hour, every day of my life, that thing would just make a noise, and that was, I got to the point where I didn't even hear it anymore, but I know that some of you guys heard it. Like people that had watched my video would say, oh, I have to go change the battery on my alarm. And I wish it was that easy, but that wasn't the case. So yeah, finally the chirping of that thing finally stopped. And hopefully that'll just be it for good. So yeah, the more that I'm getting into this winter, even though it's going to be like kind of nice where I live in the next couple of months probably. Man, I'm looking at Florida again. I am definitely not going to miss living in the freezing cold. When I left the Navy and I left Virginia Beach, a long time ago. I told myself that I would never live in the freezing cold again because it was cold in Virginia Beach too. And even though Virginia Beach was great, I loved Virginia Beach, but it was cold. It snowed. I told myself I would never move to anywhere where it was cold again. When I left Virginia Beach, I moved back to Florida, and somehow I got conned into moving to New York. And now I'm just trying to figure out how can I get out of New York and get back to Florida. I don't know if that'll even happen, but I gotta be honest, I'm thinking about it constantly. And for those of you guys that are in Florida, lucky ducks, you know I'm thinking about you. And hopefully soon maybe I'll be your neighbor. Anyways, other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot that I've changed a lot. I have started eating quite a few sweet potatoes. I started eating a little bit of oats and some sweet potatoes. I'm trying to get a little bit of healthy fiber in my life, just to try to manage or help with any sugars that I do eat. Um, but I started eating sweet potatoes, and I microwave those things. I put a sweet potato, and I like kielbasa. I like Polish sausage. I put them both in the microwave, and I'll nuke them both for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. And then I just eat the sausage, obviously. And I eat the sweet potato like an apple. And I've been actually enjoying those sweet potatoes quite a bit. But I feel like I need to slow down on the sweet potatoes. Even though I'm just eating like one a day, if that, one every couple of days. I'm almost feeling like the starch, and I don't know exactly what's in sweet potatoes or how healthy or unhealthy they are, but I feel like I need to slow down on the sweet potatoes. So anyways, I hope all you guys are having a great week, having a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm going to try to watch the Super Bowl a little bit. And sorry I haven't been posting very much, but I'm going to try to start posting a little bit more again. Um, any questions, any thoughts, do me a favor. Leave it below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think, what you're saying, what you say. Have a good rest of the day. Thanks. Bye-bye.